It is exactly 11 after 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the second hour of news and views on Salam Media. And our next guest is the CEO of OUTA, and that, of course, is you, Wayne Duvenage. A very good morning to you. Long time no speak. In fact, I thought that our problems with AARTO was kind of done and dusted. And here I am talking with you once again about the same issue, or it might be a different issue regarding AARTO. A very good morning to you. Welcome. And I am very, very pleased to see that you're still around, OUTA is still around, and you guys are truly, truly working hard and protecting us as citizens. So, welcome.
Pleasure. Nice to be with you. Look, we are working on lots of projects. At any one time, we've probably got about 20 projects on the go. And wow. And yeah, this is one that we've been working on AARTO for about 7 or 8 years, different iterations. You know, they've come and gone, they've launched and they've halted the launches and relaunched and then pushed those out. And that on its own tells you that it is very problematic. And now they've launched a couple of weeks ago. And we felt that we have to interdict this, not because we don't agree with, you know, the need for road safety. It's just that if you're going to do this, you've got to do it properly. Otherwise, you create more chaos. And that's really what we're trying to fix here. And hopefully government comes to their senses. This is a bit of deja vu with the e-tolls here. They think that they put laws and regulations in place and everything just happens automatically, but it doesn't. You've got to have your administration and you've got to follow the rule of law as well. If you're government, you can't just expect your citizens to. So yeah, here we are. Another chapter in the AARTO file.
Okay, I might also add that we have been in the past in contact with Advocate Stephanie Fick, and it was always wonderful, engaging with her on matters pertaining to
yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's your phone. Do you want to switch it?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll switch it off now. Yeah. Carry on.
Okay, so where are we at regarding this application, this urgent application by OUTA with the High Court? What does it exactly mean for us as ordinary road users? That's the one part of my question. And does this, or anywhere in the projects that you are busy with currently, talking to the shocking state of our roads, the potholes, or gosh, what do you call them? It's unbelievable. Is that also one of the projects that you guys are embarking on? But let's talk firstly to this application.
Yeah, so this application is just about the AARTO system. They're trying to roll it out. And really what's happening is we believe they can't roll it out until they have the appeals tribunal in place, because this is the place you go to for protection when government gets it wrong, or in the RTIA, the Road Traffic Infringement Agency, gets it wrong and doesn't resolve your queries. And the law is very clear on this. The president cannot proclaim and allow it to continue until the tribunal is in place, and it's not in place. That's clear. We know that. They've told us that, and yet the laws tells them you can't launch. So we're saying, please just follow your own laws. Secondly, the Constitution requires that when you bring out the amended regulations, you need to consult with society. We have a constitutional right there. Very important that government follows those constitutional rights, and they've given us no time. They launched the new regulations one day before they launched the AARTO system, and they've got to give you a minimum of 21 days, and sometimes a lot more, depending on the complexity, and this is complex stuff. So they failed in those two areas, and we're saying, please, just halt this bus, do the consultations properly, get your tribunal in place, and then we can proceed. And that really is the issue that we are dealing with here.
Sorry, we've got to go for an ad break. I'll come back to you. And I also, more importantly, need to understand what would the impact be to us as ordinary motorists had you as OUTA not stepped in here and, gone for an urgent High Court application. So there are two issues I'd like you to respond to, please, right after the ad break.
Okay.
There are over 200 million orphans globally. We can't help all of them, But what if we each helped just one? The Al Imdad Foundation now gives you an opportunity to help just one orphan from Syria or Palestine. For just 500 Rand per month, you can help safeguard the dignity of an orphan by assisting them with basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and attention. Our orphan sponsorship program allows you to track the progress of your orphan through regular feedback. Make a difference in the life of an orphan today. Visit alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
Ah, the kitchen, the heart of the home, where memories are made and celebrated. Our go-to place for those freshly stacked pancakes early in the morning or for that late-night snack munchies. We are in there together, cooking, eating, and celebrating life together. Let's keep the kitchen a place that is shared by everyone, where we build stronger bonds and grow together. Sunfoil, Now We Cooking. Visit nowwecooking.co.za for recipes that everyone can help make.
World-class financial services only at Sapphire Global, your financial partner. If you are looking for Islamic, Sharia, and ethical financial products, look no further. Sapphire Global offers a wide range of financial service offerings from short-term to life and investments. A full-service center with all financial requirements under one brand. Our highly skilled and experienced consultants are ready to help protect your financial future. Contact us on 041 001 0184 or visit our website on www.sapphireglobalfs.com. Sapphire Global is an authorized financial services provider.
Africa. Give the gift of clean water with Africa Muslims Agency. With every water well or borehole you donate, your drop becomes a river, reconnecting communities to nourishment, education, dignity and empowerment. Sponsor a water well for 17,000 Rand in Africa or a borehole for 65,000 Rand in Afghanistan or Africa. Quench the thirst. Reconnect the soul with Africa Muslims Agency. La ilaha illallah. Ya Rabb al-Alameen.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media, your humanitarian broadcaster.
Welcome back. OUTA has launched an urgent High Court application seeking to suspend Phase 2 of the AARTO system. The organization is asking the court to halt the system's expansion until the government complies with its own legal and constitutional obligations. Wayne Duvenage, CEO of OUTA, is here to unpack this matter for us. Welcome back, Wayne. Over to you.
Yeah, hi. So basically what would have happened if we hadn't have taken the stance is that AARTO would have been rolled out at 62 municipalities. People would have had queries with RTIA around their traffic fines. Those queries may never have been resolved by RTIA, in which case your obligation or your opportunity to take these to the appeals tribunal have now been thwarted because there is no appeals tribunal. And now you get stuck in the space of, now you're getting anxious because although the point demerit point system is not in place yet, it is coming, and they have to have all their ducks in a row before they can launch. And by the way, we're saying they need to launch it properly across the board, not just in 62 municipalities, because there are others then where these systems don't apply, and you can't have treating different people in different parts of the country in one way and others in another way. So they're saying, well, we need to phase the rollout, and we're saying, well, then get ready and then roll it out. So if you need to get all your municipalities up to speed and trained, then take the time to do that. But you don't roll it out in different cities differently, because that's prejudicial to some citizens and not others. That's the main issue here. And we hope that the courts will hear that. If we don't get urgency, that's fine. It'll still have to be heard in court. But I think what you are seeing now, Julie, is that there are a number of municipalities who have already extricated themselves from the system. This was something we raised in the Constitutional Court 2 years ago, where the local government powers are being usurped by national. They felt that they weren't, and now we've already seen City of Cape Town and a few Western Cape municipalities saying to AARTO or the RTA, sorry, we're not going to participate in the way you want us to, because we have our own powers, we can manage our own traffic fines. And that's the start of the problem, and that's the type of stuff we've been telling RTA for years now. Please listen to your critics, your other stakeholders. We've got input. We want to help you. We want this to work. We don't want it to fail, but it must be done properly. And they seem to bury their heads in the sand. That's the frustration we have.
Why would provincial want to interfere in a local government issues regarding, regarding this matter? Does it have to do with monetary issues here?
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be made by RTIA, and this is what we're also saying. This comes across to us as a money-making scheme, and that's what the municipalities are saying. They're saying, hold on, these are our funds. We shouldn't have to part with half of the revenue to RTIA. All RTIA needs is the common feedback on the transgression so that it can feed into a demerit point system. They don't need to manage the traffic fines process. So there's a money issue here. As to where should this money reside, but more so there's the control issue, and some municipalities are happy to let the control go to national because they are so bad at collecting their own revenue that getting half the revenue is better than getting none, and whereas other municipalities run themselves well, their collection rates are high, they manage their traffic fines, and they get 80 or 90% of their revenue from traffic fines, and they're saying to RTIA, sorry, that's our money, we'll keep it, rather than other municipalities saying, well, we'll have half of nothing, or half of something because we're getting nothing. And then what's playing out, as you can see, the different levels of administration and skills that you can see being applied in different municipalities, which is creating a big problem for RTIA.
Wayne, what happens to all of those monies, the monies collected from traffic fines? Is it being put to good use, upgrading our roads perhaps? I kind of wonder, I mean, they're making millions, if not billions, of rands in traffic fines. What happens to that money?
Well, it should go towards law enforcement. So let's take a city like City of Cape Town. They're quite good at managing their traffic fines. If you don't pay, they're on top of you. They're very quick. If you redirect the fine to somebody else because it's not your fine, they manage that process. Whereas many other municipalities, they just don't do it properly. Even in RTIA, don't do it properly. And so now you sit with this fine ongoingly, even if there's a cloned number plate. So let me just say the money goes to the city for its metro police, its vehicles, its petrol, its uniforms, its training, and it's all supposed to at least be revenue neutral. In other words, if you spend R1 billion a year in a city to do traffic management, and this is keeping the flow of traffic going, removing unroadworthy vehicles from the roads, unlicensed vehicles or unlicensed drivers, that's a cost to that. And so it's really about law and order. It should never be about a revenue-making scheme. It's not about making profits. Cities and municipalities don't make profits, or at least they're not supposed to. Now, a city that's badly managed is not going to be able to collect much traffic fines, so it's got to subsidize its traffic policing, or it starts to do without traffic policing because it doesn't collect enough money. And that's the conundrum that they face. And so you have poor traffic management and enforcement in towns where they don't have the resources, and then everybody just runs haywire. So it doesn't go to roads, doesn't go to road maintenance. You've got other budgets for that, and that's another story for another day. But you'll go to the City of Cape Town, you think you're in a well-run city, and you are. You will not find a pothole in the City of Cape Town. I'm talking larger, the greater City of Cape Town. I'm not saying they're perfect, and I'm not saying they get it right everywhere, but in the greater scheme of things, a well-run city has all its traffic lights working, all its potholes repaired, its water leaks and everything. You don't find that in badly managed cities where they'll take some of the revenue from the traffic fines, but they don't put it to law enforcement. They just put it to trying to cover all the holes that they've got and gaps in their budgetary process.
So really the ideal situation would be that we all have to become law-abiding citizens as far as, using of our roads is concerned. If that perfect scenario would come to pass, municipalities aren't going to be getting any monies for their metro police, or would that come from elsewhere?
Well, it may come from elsewhere. You see, they don't ring fence their funds. If a city was run well, they would ring fence all their traffic fine revenue to deal with the metro policing, let's say. And if they need more, they have to take it from elsewhere in the budget. Remember, they've got rates and taxes that they collect.
Mm-hmm.
But all your water that's collected, the water charges and the sewage charges should go to those respective needs. If they're short, they have to top it up somewhere else. Electricity maintenance comes from your electricity sales. And then you've got general management or general costs coming from the rates and taxes, which also then goes to propping up the city where it needs its funds. So I guess it's not a utopian, it's not an exact science. It's about managing your finances properly every year, budgeting accordingly. And if you can't get that right in the different areas, well, then you have collapsing municipalities, and we're seeing a lot of that.
Absolutely. Just two more questions to you, and it moves slightly away from what the subject at hand, and that is the court application. But I think we just need a bit of clarification. The demerit system, which you alluded to just now, is it workable? And
well,
how they're going to be concerned?
Yeah, it's not workable in this environment. It works very well in places like Australia and New Zealand. And let me tell you, in New Zealand, if there's a head-on crash in New Zealand and there's a fatality, it's headline news. It's headline news in that city, in that country. They take road safety so seriously, but they've got it waxed in that all the administration systems are updated. If you sell your car today in South Africa and tomorrow somebody else drives that car on that number plate, you won't get the fine in New Zealand, Australia. Here, the likelihood is that you will, because they haven't updated their systems quick enough. And that's the problem with the scheme. So the point demerit system, you start attracting points. If you've got somebody who's driving on your number plate, in other words, a cloned number plate, it's easy. You go pay 150 Rand, you get 2 number plates made, and this is what people do. They see you driving a white Polo. Okay, I'll go and I've got a white Polo, and I'll make that same number plate. That's what they do here, and why? Because they can get away with it. It's a dishonest process, and then you start picking up the fines, and you start engaging with the RTA and saying, "This is not my fine. I wasn't there," and now the mess starts. And here's the problem. When a demerit point system kicks in, if you get to 15 points, your license is suspended. And imagine you're a sales rep or a driver for a company. You now don't have a job because you've got to drive. And that anxiety level starts to climb because you've tried to resolve your issues with government. Government's inefficiencies is not dealing with it. You're getting the demerit point system, and that is a disaster. So I'm afraid until they fix all the administration, they rely on the post office to get these fines to you. Well, no, the post office is broken.
Of course.
So we've got big problems with this until we get the administration right. And there's where the problem in this country lies so often. The maladministration, the lack of accountability, the lack of leadership creates all these problems.
And finally, potholes, Wayne, before I let you go, are we seeing a light at the end of the tunnel? Are we seeing this being addressed efficiently enough?
Depends where you live. If you're living in a badly managed town or city, it's not going to get any better until there's leadership change. If the national roads, SANRAL's roads, are pretty well maintained because they've got a separate budget. City of Cape Town and many other municipalities in the Western Cape, they're run properly. You hardly find potholes. It's where your municipalities are broke. The city of Joburg is exactly one of those. And not just potholes, water leaks, infrastructure for electricity, street lights, signage, road markings. It's a mess.
Absolutely. That's where we leave it, Wayne Duvenage. Wonderful talking with you. Please keep up the great work that OUTA is doing. We're behind you all the way. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
It is exactly 9:30 on News and Views right here on Salam Media. We are going to continue with all of our very important interviews, bring you all that matters right here, news that you should be aware of. And of course, if it's going to impact on you directly, then you need to be proactive to make sure that you don't suffer any negative repercussions. So stay with us right here on News and Views on Salam Media.